On December 26, 2024, over Chengdu, China stunned defense circles as two cutting-edge airframes climbed into the winter sky. The larger craft, reportedly the J-36, defies convention with a 3-engine layout that rewrites the fighter playbook. Its 7.6-meter internal bay is a cavern, sized for missiles bigger than what many nations even field. Welcome to the moment the script flipped. A side-by-side cockpit on a modern stealth jet? That's virtually unheard of. Some U.S. defense voices are calling it China's biggest jump in military aviation to date. Then came the leaks 3 months later, and the numbers left Pentagon watchers stunned. This isn't just another airframe. It looks like Beijing's reply to America's most black programs, with power figures many thought unrealistic. Welcome to Tech of War, your breakdown of the military tech reshaping our world. The J-36 is more than a tech upgrade. It hints at a real shift in the global balance of air power. What stands out isn't only the footprint or low observable shaping, but the bold engineering bets that buck tradition. 3 engines on a stealth platform, an internal bay longer than many fighters are wide. This is designed by intent, not habit, aimed at changing how air combat is fought. These aren't blunders, they're deliberate moves that telegraph Beijing's blueprint for tomorrow's wars. The rollout date wasn't random either. December 26th, Mao's birthday was a signal. Choosing that moment to showcase cutting-edge hardware carried clear messaging. And yes, the symbolism landed intelligence circles around the world took note immediately. Within hours of those first clips hitting social feeds, U.S. defense firms were already in briefings, frame by frame. The alleged spec sheet sketched a platform that upends our assumptions about 6th-gen design. Dimensions cited? 23 meters long, 19 meters across the wings. On paper, it doesn't just nudge the envelope, it redraws it. Those dimensions put it in a league of its own, but sheer size isn't the headline. It's the systems packed inside that whole power, sensors, payload that have planners worldwide rethinking playbooks. The soul of any fighter is its engines, and this is where the J-36 turns heads. Reports suggest China fitted it with either WS-10C or the newer WS-15, the same pedigree used on their top-tier jets. That choice alone signals intent. More thrust, more electrical headroom, and the backbone for everything that follows. Here's the curveball no one saw coming. 3 engines. This trijet layout isn't just a brute force play. Yes, claims point to around Mach 2.5, quicker than plenty of missiles, but the real magic is what that architecture unlocks. The J-36 is reportedly built for supercruise, staying supersonic without afterburners, stretching reach while keeping signatures lower. That lets the jet stretch its legs covering long distances while sipping fuel and keeping its profile lower. The fuel story is striking on its own. Estimates point to about 13 to 15 tons carried internally. For scale, that's more fuel than many compact fighters weigh fully loaded. At supercruise, it's reportedly covering 2,700 kilometers in about 1 hour, burning roughly 10 tons of fuel to do it. Range math tied to observed flights points to operations out to 4,000 kilometers from home base. With optimized profiles, that stretches toward an impressive 6,000 kilometers. What really stands out is the power budget. Modern combat is an electronics game, and a 3-engine architecture means a huge surplus of electrical output. That surplus can drive high-end radar, robust electronic warfare suites, and even directed energy concepts, the kind of systems that only wake up when you've got serious watts to spare. One look, and it doesn't read like any fighter now in service, with stealth technology redesigned from the inside. A tailless flying wing layout cuts reflections and unlocks massive internal volume. Chinese sources dub it the GKO leaf, a nod to the silhouette. But that shape isn't about style. It's purposeful geometry for low observability, fuel, and payload all under the skin. A double delta planform is doing the heavy lifting here, tuned for clean cruise below Mach and stability when you punch through it. The J-36's low observable game looks like a step past classic 5th-gen thinking. Smooth, continuous skin panels scrub away the little corners and seams that kick radar energy back. With the fuselage and wings blended into one flowing volume, the airframe shows a far smaller signature from multiple aspects, exactly what you want when every bounce of RF matters. Another curveball: a side-by-side cockpit with 2 crew. That layout, more common on bombers like the B-2 or older strike aircraft, implies missions that go well beyond classic air-to-air tasks. Each seat runs its own HUD, letting the crew split duties. One prioritizes sensors and electronic effects. The other manages flight, navigation, and weapons. In complex scenarios, specialization beats single-pilot multitasking. Air intake design is a giveaway of serious engineering. 2 carrot-like inlets tucked under the wings feed the lower engines, while a dorsal scoop just aft of the cockpit supplies the third, paired with diverterless supersonic inlets, DSI. This layout preserves low observable shaping, yet still shoves a huge volume of air into all 3 power plants. If there is one notable highlight, it is the weapon architecture, which will leave analysts in awe. The main internal bay stretches to about 7.6 meters longer than the entire fuselage of some fighters. That cavernous space changes the menu. It can house outsized munitions that simply don't fit inside conventional jets, keeping them internal and the jet low, observable from push to splash. Reports point to an air-to-air load built around PL-15 and PL-17 families. The jet is said to carry 4 PL-15 long-range, radar-guided shots missiles that can outrange most US AAMs now in service. The PL-17 pushes the envelope even farther, reaching out to distances where opposing aircraft might not even see the J-36 before it's already in the fight. With 3 internal bays to play with, planners can tailor loads to the task at hand. Keeping everything inside preserves the jet's low observable profile from launch to RTB. Where many jets lose their low observable edge once they hang stores outside, this design keeps its stealth even when loaded. Everything rides internally. That matters in contested skies, where getting seen often equals getting shot. This is the trijet turn. At first, the choice to run 3 engines baffled Western observers. Look closer at the mission profile, though, and the logic emerges. The role demands more power, more redundancy, and room to grow. 6th-gen airframes have to feed gear their predecessors. Never dreamed of full-spectrum electronic warfare suites, high-energy sensors, even directed energy concepts. That's why the electrical margin matters. With 3 modern turbofans spinning generators in parallel, you're talking power output on the order of ground installations, the kind of wattage that keeps advanced emitters alive while the jet fights, searches, and survives. On long-haul crews, it could run 1 or 2 engines, holding the third in reserve for climbs, sprints, or heavy maneuvering. Where twin-engine designs juggle power versus fuel burn, this layout aims to keep high output even while hauling substantial fuel and weapons internally. In return, you get operational flexibility. 3 independent power sources that can hedge risk and tailor output to the mission, often worth more than the added wrench time. Now, stack it against US fighters. The J-36's debut invites a head-to-head with America's crown jewels. Put it next to the F-22 Raptor. For years, the benchmark in air dominance and a different trade space appears. 2 engines and tighter internal bays on the Raptor versus a larger, more flexible layout on the newcomer. But the Raptor remains a killer in air-to-air. The J-36's multi-role posture hints at a broader, system of systems approach to modern air warfare. America's workhorse of the 5th generation, the F-35 Lightning II, runs into tougher comparisons here. With 1 engine, it has less electrical headroom and no built-in redundancy, and its smaller internal bay narrows payload choices. Add the J-36's longer reach, and the Pacific's vast distances start to test the F-35's game plan, especially for deep missions without heavy tanker support. According to recent claims, America's counterpunch is the F-47, tied to the next-generation air dominance effort. A public statement attributed to President Trump that Boeing secured the award signals Washington is treating the J-36 challenge as real. But here's the catch. The F-47 remains classified. No open specs. No apples-to-apples comparison, at least not yet. The stakes go well beyond one airframe's tricks. With that kind of reach, China can project power far from home, pressing on U.S. posture across the Pacific. Forward bases once considered safe now sit inside a notional operating circle. There's also a budget angle. If production proves efficient, the J-36's path could undercut rivals on cost, compounding its strategic bite. The J-36 folds in systems and integration choices that look like a clear step beyond today's fighter playbooks, pushing sensors, power management, and survivability into new territory. That digital hands-on control unlocks maneuvering you don't see on conventional layouts. On top of that, the sensor fusion picture jumps a level, pipes more data, cleans the noise, and feeds the crew a tighter, faster tactical view. It likely brings serious electronic attack to the fight, jamming comms, scrambling radars, and even spoofing or burning off inbound missiles through electronic effects. That shifts it from just a shooter to a full-spectrum combat system. Inside, the avionics suite is built for a two-person crew. Advanced displays, smart automation, and task-sharing tools that cut workload and keep both operators focused during complex, high-tempo missions. AI on the flight deck takes over the grunt work, coordinating multiple subsystems in parallel so the crew can stay locked on tactics instead of babysitting settings. On the materials side, the airframe blends stealth and structure. Radar, absorbent coatings on key surfaces, plus advanced composites that deliver strength with minimal weight penalty. The result is quieter on radar, tougher in the air, and easier to mission load. For aircraft carriers, the backbone of U.S. projection, that means pushing operations farther from the fight, reshaping routes, sortie rates, and how escorts screen the threat axis. Air defenses everywhere will need a rethink. Blend stealth, speed, and electronic attack, and you start punching holes in today's networks. That's why regional militaries are reassessing what to buy, where to place it, and how to connect it. Training has to change, too. Opposing forces must practice against this specific profile: low observable signatures, long reach, heavy jamming, so tactics, timelines, and crews can adapt before the shooting starts. Playbook moves built for legacy threats won't cut it against a platform with this mix of reach, stealth, and jamming. That's why alliances matter more than ever. No single country can cover every gap alone. Shared sensors, common tactics, and real-time intel pooling become the core of any credible answer, because coordinated defense is the only way to blunt a system designed to outpace, outrange, and outhide you. In Washington, senior officials moved fast, launching closed-door briefings on what China just demonstrated. That urgency, measured in hours, not days, shows how seriously military leaders are treating the J-36's potential. Across the Pacific, allies are asking for briefings on what this could mean for regional security. Japan, Australia, and South Korea are recalculating defenses with this new factor on the board. Meanwhile, in Europe, planners are eyeing the ripple effects on their own sixth-generation fighter. Roadmaps, timelines, budgets, and requirements may all shift in response. Intelligence shops around the world are recalibrating their read on China's military tech. The J-36's debut hints that earlier assessments of Beijing's progress were too cautious. For service members and veterans, this is both a warning and an opening. It's a challenge to tactics and assumptions, and an opportunity to share hard-earned expertise with the next crew getting ready to fly and fight. If you're a veteran or just a die-hard military tech fan, come be part of our community. We break down developments like this together, with real expertise and respectful debate. Your first-hand perspective helps everyone grasp the practical impact of new systems. And let's be clear, the J-36's arrival doesn't erase American or Allied strength. It's a wake-up call, not a surrender flag. One more reason to innovate, adapt, and sharpen the edge. It underscores why constant innovation and adaptation matter. US forces have a record of meeting hard problems head-on, and this will be no exception. Competition sparked by the J-36 can accelerate progress across the services, air, land, and sea. Gearborne as a response today will lift more than air power tomorrow, pushing upgrades into ground units and the fleet as well. Training has to shift to match the J-36's unique profile. That change won't start from zero. It stacks on decades of PME and hard-earned operational lessons. The J-36 effort appears to be actively maturing, with repeated flight testing surfacing fresh clues about performance and employment. Each run adds data points, refining tactics, logistics needs, and how this airframe might be used when it finally moves from trials to tasking. The production timeline remains a question mark, but once China starts flight testing, programs often move fast. Current intel assessments even hint that initial operational capability could arrive earlier than many first expected. The pace is quickening, and planning assumptions need to keep up. Breakthroughs showcased on the J-36 are likely to shape how future Chinese aircraft are conceived and built. Expect those lessons, materials, sensors, power management, integration to spill into the next wave of designs across multiple categories. The J-36's significance reaches well past any single airframe it tugs on the global balance of power. Its arrival signals China stepping up as a peer in cutting-edge military aviation. Across the Pacific, calculus shifts. Reach, payload, and stealth at this scale force nations to rethink posture, basing, and how alliances plug sensors and shooters together. There's an economic ripple, too. Expect defense budgets to climb as governments answer the challenge, fueling rapid tech upgrades while creating trade-offs elsewhere. And on the diplomatic front, capability drives leverage. Negotiations, security pacts, and export rules will feel the pull of what this jet represents. On the tech front, the J-36 points to manufacturing discipline beyond earlier Chinese programs. Stealth demands tight tolerances and high-precision processes, signals of a maturing industrial base. And the R&D outlay behind this airframe suggests a sustained commitment to pushing defense technology forward, a pattern likely spreading across multiple domains, from sensors and materials to propulsion and electronic warfare. It's a good bet the J-36's debut sped up programs across multiple countries. With tech parity looming, technology transfer headaches grow. Fielding at scale remains a future step, and real-world deployment will decide what holds up outside the brochure. Test flights have to prove the brochure claims in real conditions. Training will need new checklists and tactics tailored to the J-36's unique quirks. A two-crew cockpit means specialized crew coordination and sims built for task splitting. Maintenance backbones must scale tools, spares, diagnostics, and the techs to run them. Doctrine has to catch up too, where this jet fits, how it teams with existing forces, and when you send it. Tactics need rehearsal and red team reps to validate employment concepts. And never forget the budget math unit cost and sustainment will shape how many get built and where they're based. Even the most ambitious programs have to square capability with budget. This one feels like a breakpoint, a watershed in combat aviation. What China is showcasing would have sounded far-fetched 10 years ago. Yet here it is, forcing a rethink of what a fighter must do and how it should be built. And the consequences aren't limited to one jet or one service. They ripple across the global balance, reshaping regional security plans, alliance posture, and how nations spend to keep an edge. Zooming out, the J-36 isn't just another jet. It's a marker of how great power competition and the tech that underwrites it is changing fast. The performance claims and design choices we've explored today will shape planning, procurement, and doctrine for years to come. If this analysis helped you understand the huge shift in modern air power, please subscribe to see more of our videos. Your likes, comments, and shares keep these long-form analyses coming and help us track the developments reshaping global security. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.